Coming home after 4 days of multi-city tributes, Congressman John Lewis is set to arrive right here in Atlanta today. A look at how Georgia will honor the man who spent decades representing the Peach State in our nation's capital. It's a song that's been around for more than 100 years. We'll take a look at why Lift Every Voice and Sing is known as the Black National Anthem. And bucking the trend, one Metro Atlanta school system decides to hold in-person classes to start the school year for some students. We're breaking down the reopening plan for Fayette County schools. Plus, young undocumented immigrants trying to get U.S. citizenship have a new fight on Capitol Hill. And soon you'll be able to grab your popcorn and watch movies on the big screen. The movie chain that's ready to reopen, but without masks in part of the theater. And a new warning from the government about suspicious packages with seeds in them. Why they say don't plant them. We have those stories and more today, Wednesday, July 29th.
Live from Atlanta, Morning Rush starts now.
Stimulus check qualifications. Will you get the next $1,200 payment under the Senate proposed HEALS Act? Your income, marriage status, dependents, and citizenship could affect whether you get more stimulus money. We're going to break it all down for you in just a minute or so. But first, we want to know, do you think $1,200 is enough? Let us know what you think. Use the hashtag MorningRushATL. What do you think? $1,200, is that enough? Or do you need more?
It is more than what some people make, I will say that. But some people, they're really struggling out here, Chesley.
Absolutely, they are. Yeah.
All right, guys. Good morning. I'm Francesca Amaker. Thank you so much for waking up with us. Sheba Russell and Crash Clark are both off today. Meteorologist extraordinaire, Chesley McNeil.
I appreciate it.
Of course, thank you. He's holding down the fort for weather and traffic. Good morning, Ches.
I'm not going to up your fee, though. I'm not going to up your fee.
Okay. I'll pay you some pennies.
Let's take a look. You are running out of coins, aren't we? We're looking at a little bit of rain. Folks, up here to the far north, Gilmer County, heading into Fannin County is where you're going to find that. In fact, let's zoom in here. We've got a couple lightning strikes associated with it. You can see 2, 3 right now. We've got some areas of very heavy rain. This is north of Carter Cay. This is drifting up to the north. So Fannin, get ready. You're going to experience some of this moderate rain coming your way as well. Light to moderate, we'll say, for this morning. And this is it. This is all we have out there this morning, but we're expecting more of this to pop up a little bit later on this afternoon. Temperatures in the 70s starting off. It's on the muggy side this morning. 67 degrees is the cool spot, 77 down in Edenton. That is where the warm spot is for this morning. Your forecast for today calls for temperatures to hit the 80s. We'll hit right at 80 by noon, 85 for your afternoon high today. And carry the rain gear. You're going to need it. Let's get a check on the traffic out there. Not using your windshield wipers, at least in the downtown area. We're nice and clear as far as any rainfall goes, but we do have mostly cloudy skies out there. Traffic seems to be smooth. There will be some road closures a little bit later on today, thanks to the John Lewis Memorial Service, and so be on the lookout for that later on this afternoon.
After 4 days of tributes in Alabama and in our nation's capital, civil rights giant Congressman John Lewis is coming back to the state he called home for decades. Congressman Lewis will lie in state at the Georgia State Capitol today. Nick Sturdivant is live at Dobbins Air Reserve Base, where Representative Lewis's body will arrive later today. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning, Francesca. And Lewis is expected to arrive shortly after noon. From here, a motorcade will take him to the Georgia State Capitol. Now, on your screen are the plans for today. There will be a special ceremony honoring his life starting at 2 p.m. at the Georgia Capitol. He will then lie in state from 3 to 7 p.m. Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated will honor Congressman Lewis tonight at the state capitol rotunda. They say it will be an evening of prayer, singing, and poems. A former fraternity president spoke to Ron Jones last night about Lewis's legacy.
John is a member of our Distinguished Service Chapter, which is the highest honor you can get at Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity. And he's a congressman. He's a national figure, and he is very active in our organization. Anytime we call on John, John shows up. He speaks to our undergrads and to the organization at large. Whenever we have a major event, we call on John. John is there.
And Francesca, as he mentioned, Congressman Lewis was a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. His private funeral will be held tomorrow, starting at 11 a.m. at Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, where he was a member.
That will be a historic moment. Thank you, Nick. And as Congressman John Lewis makes his final stop here in Atlanta, police are warning you to be patient on the roads as we honor this civil rights titan. APD is warning several roads will be closed throughout downtown later today, including Auburn Avenue to Boulevard Northeast. And on Thursday, roads near Ebenezer Baptist Church will be blocked off as well. And of course, you can find the road closures and all the information about the ceremonies for the John Lewis on the 11 Alive app. And we will have live coverage of John Lewis's arrival beginning at noon on air and online. All new this morning, a Metro Atlanta school system makes the decision to buck the trend and start the school year offering some in-person classes instead of all virtual learning. Christy Diaz joins us live from her home in Fulton County with a breakdown of Fayette County schools plans. Good morning, Christy.
Good morning, Francesca. Fayette is just the latest to make changes to this new school year, just days before it was supposed to start. They were supposed to go in person completely, but now they have changed to a hybrid model of some in-person classes, some virtual, and now they have pushed back the start date twice. So here are the most important facts if you are a Fayette County family. The first day of school is now August 17th. Families have a choice between full virtual and brick and mortar learning. And if you choose the brick and mortar, it's a hybrid schedule. That means students pre-K through second grade will return to school 5 days a week, but grades 3 through 12 will attend on an A-B schedule, meaning face-to-face 2 days a week and virtually the rest of the week. Now, both students and staff will be required to wear face coverings inside school buildings, but they are building in some breaks throughout the day. Now, if you choose the virtual option, it's going to look different for elementary, middle, and high school. Teachers will guide the instruction for elementary and middle students, but high schoolers are on their own, and they can complete the coursework anytime, anywhere. They will only go to campus for certain assessments. Now, if this new information has made you change your mind and want to switch your option, you do have the ability to do that. They have reactivated the school choice form, but you have to make your final selection by midnight tonight. Francesca.
Christy, thank you. And parents, we know this is not easy, so beginning today, Atlanta Public Schools will host a series of virtual meetings offering parents the opportunity to learn more about the district's reopening plans. And today, Superintendent Dr. Lisa Herring and other district leaders will begin answering questions at 6 p.m. Tomorrow, leaders will discuss that district's gifted program and dual language immersion program. The meetings will continue next week, and you can find all the information and the meetings on the district's Facebook page. Now to some other top stories we're following on this Wednesday morning.
Filling up. Northeast Georgia Health System tells 11 Alive its hospitals are treating more COVID-19 patients right now than any other time during the pandemic. The spokesperson says the majority of these patients are at the hospitals in Gainesville and Brazelton. 120 of the 125 ICU beds for coronavirus patients are now in use.
I'm Shanu Hurd. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is urging people to be safe at the lakes after a tragic weekend of drowning. Rangers say the most important message they can pass on right now is to wear a life jacket. One ranger says about 93% of drownings in this region of the country are because people weren't wearing life jackets.
I'm Tracy Potts. Despite a defeat at the U.S. Supreme Court, the Trump administration is trying to scale back the DACA program that allows dreamers, young people brought here as children, to stay in the United States legally. The administration announcing they will accept no new applications and they're limiting renewals for dreamers already here. Joe Biden calls this un-American and wrong, but the administration thinks there's some wiggle room in that Supreme Court ruling that allows them to come up with a better reason for ending the program.
New information this morning on the possible next round of stimulus payments lawmakers are working on for Americans. Senate Republicans unveiled their HEALS Act this week. The $1 trillion deal includes a second relief payment of up to $1,200. But it's slightly different from the Congress proposed HEROES Act that passed the House in May, but not the Senate. Now, in the HEALS Act, $500 would be offered to all dependents, regardless of age. This is for people over 17 still relying on that financial help from their parents or guardians. The biggest difference here is that extra $600 Americans on unemployment have been getting. The HEROES Act would continue that, but the HEALS Act says workers can be paid up to 70% of their prior earnings and will receive $200 per week more from the federal government. And lastly, the HEALS Act includes liability shields, which protects businesses and universities, schools, hospitals, and more from being sued over coronavirus-related damages. Here's what some of you are saying about this proposal online. Amy says, as I re-enter the classroom, I know I will need to fund things not provided. This will really help, especially since my husband is also a teacher and we have 2 classrooms to prep. And Sarah chimed in, many people have decided they were making more on unemployment and choose not to return to work. So if it's extended, people will stay out of work. And Jessica says, I never got the first one, so a second is not that important. I'm glad I finally get to go back to work soon. So are you on board with this proposal, or are there some changes that you still want worked out? Continue to chime in. Use the hashtag MorningRushATL.
All right, it's time for your cast. It's a forecast that's centered around your events and things you got planned for today. So starting at noon today, got to get the dog out for a walk because the Braves are playing this afternoon. Home opener. Everybody's going to be tuning in, right? We're looking at mostly cloudy skies out there. Temperatures will be right around 80 degrees. Of course, there could be a few showers around, so maybe duck some of those raindrops as you're walking the dog. How about, again, getting on the grill to cook? Well, it's going to be wet this afternoon by 3 o'clock. Temperatures up to about 85 degrees. That'll be our high temperature for today. Yeah, rain coming down, so make sure you pick a good spot to watch the game, more likely inside as you head towards 7 o'clock this evening. We're looking at the game starting about 7:10. Temperatures will be right around 80 degrees. We'll also have some scattered showers and thunderstorms around as well. And so if you're like me and you got DirecTV, you may be in some trouble. Rain typically kind of, messes up your satellite. We'll see. We'll see. All right, let's get a check on the traffic out there. We have an accident to report to you on I-75. Yeah, this is headed toward the city. In fact, it's over there by Truist Park. We do have an accident in the right-hand lane there, so be careful over there. This is right at exit 260. That's Windy Hill and 75. Again, they have the right lanes blocked, so traffic is moving by slowly, so that's why you're going to be a little bit delayed going through that particular area. Francesca?
The upcoming NFL season will include 2 national anthems. Why will you hear the song Lift Every Voice and Sing? It's today's Why Guy.
And tomorrow on Morning Rush, as more classrooms are going virtual for the new school year, we're going to take a look at how districts are trying to close the digital divide.
Welcome back to Morning Rush with meteorologist Chesley McNeil, Francesca Amaker, Crash Clark, and Sheba Russell.
A song that's been around more than 100 years is getting new attention. The NFL has decided Lift Every Voice and Sing will be played before every game opening week. It's known far and wide as the Black National Anthem. But why? Here's our Why Guy.
From the bloody days of injustice and court-approved segregation, a poem emerged, one intended to lift and inspire.
When you hear it, it's kind of one of those things where you do get goosebumps a little bit.
The poem became a song, a rallying cry for the oppressed. Let's look at why Lift Every Voice and Sing is now known as the Black National Anthem. In 1899, James Weldon Johnson was the head of the NAACP. He wrote the poem. His brother John added the music. The song, Lift Every Voice and Sing, was first performed in public during a celebration of Abraham Lincoln's birthday in 1900.
We're in the middle of lynchings. We're in the middle of survival. This is just a song that really speaks to not just the resiliency of the Black community. It's this just call for hope.
In 1919, the NAACP decided the Black community needed an anthem they could call their own.
We have come over a way that with tears has been watered. We have come, treading our path through the blood of the slaughtered, out from the gloomy past, till now we stand at last. It's acknowledging the road that we've taken to get here, the road that our ancestors have taken to get here, pushing through all of the hurt.
The recent cries for racial justice have pushed the anthem back into the forefront.
It's not trying to erase anything, it is adding depth and breadth to who we are as a nation.
It's a song that describes a journey that's more than 100 years old.
I love how she put that. It adds depth. And, you know, Chesley, for many, this song is not so much a song, but it's a call to action that honors people who look like me, people who look like you. African Americans, you know, we have this long, painful struggle for freedom, and this just affirms our rightful place in our national identity. And just keep in mind that this was created during Jim Crow era, where segregation was strictly enforced. So it tells black folks, you know, to know their place at that time. So this song represents to me that hopeful future. Even now, let us march on until victory is won.
Yeah, it makes you feel powerful, makes you feel good.
Yeah.
We were taught that in grade school when I was young, coming up. You got a lot of people, including my grandparents, who like to forget the past, but this is good for us to remember from which we came, letting us feel proud about where we are. So love the song. Love the song.
We want to continue to hear what you have to say about the song. Continue to chime in. Use the hashtag MorningRushATL. What does this song mean to you?
Very good. All right, let's talk about our big weather, or our full forecast for today. And we're looking at some breaks in the clouds.